I don't know, man. I was driving down here today and the sun was shining and I'm feeling so good. I haven't eaten for 3 days and I'm feeling so good. How is that?
Come on.
How can you be without food for 3 days, yet you feel on top of the planet?
Yes, sir.
See, beloved family, we're such a blessed people because, you know, I've had conversations with others who, when you mention things like fasting, it's like you're talking a strange language, because in this world, most people cannot fathom the idea that they can go without food and somehow going without food is going to be beneficial.
Yes, sir.
But that's the beauty of what you and I have been given in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that fasting will cure 95% of our ills.
Yes, sir.
Most people that you see today, I'm a people watcher.
Come on.
When I'm on the road, I don't look at buildings and look into the sky necessarily. If there's people, I look at people.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I observe. I'm an observer. I look at women. I look at men. In fact, many years ago, when I was married to my first wife, I got home one day and she told me that a sister had come to her and said, "I saw Brother Leo today in Shepherd's Bush staring at a white woman." And myself and my wife, after we finished laughing and got off the floor, I asked my wife, I said, "Did you ask her if she saw all the other women I looked at today?" Because I'm a people watcher.
yes, sir.
I like to observe people. When you observe people, there is hardly a person today that you won't observe who has got some type of infirmity, wound or scar, or some other thing that they weren't necessarily born with.
Yes, sir.
Because the world that we live in is a world where it's very difficult to get through this life without being injured in some way.
Yes, sir.
Whether it's a spiritual, mental injury or a physical injury, almost everybody has been touched
Yes, sir.
by some type of wound, some type of injury, something that we carry now for the rest of our lives.
Yes, sir.
And to the keen observer, they will be able to see it. Believe it or not, women who wear handbags all the time on their shoulders, they slightly raise the shoulder to compensate so that the bag doesn't keep sliding off. And as a result, they get a deformity of the spinal column.
Come on.
People who sit all the time cross-legged, the hips go slightly out of joint. That's why in the East they sit often and more in a lotus position, because it keeps everything in equilibrium and balance. But I'm saying that, beloved brothers and sisters, because, you know, where we are very external people now, we're looking for maybe a tablet or a pill or something to cure us from what it is that we're suffering from.
Yes, sir.
In reality, most of the cure that we need is already within ourselves. And quite often all we have to do is allow our body to actually heal itself.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's not an accident or a coincidence that sometimes, or quite often, you go to hospital, especially if you're going to have some kind of procedure, you will see written at the end of your bed, "nil by mouth." And again, quite often if you get ill, what you'll find is that one of the first things that happens is that you go off your food. That's the body being so intelligent
Yes, sir.
that it knows that for you to get better, you can't keep putting stuff in. The body actually needs to be able to rest in order for it to heal.
Yes, sir.
When you fast and you rest the digestive process, your body focuses in on itself to heal itself.
Yes, sir.
There's power in fasting. And you know, the other thing about it is that food, I don't know how many of you do a 9 to 5. I don't do a 9 to 5 myself at the present time. But those who do 9 to 5s and go to lunch, for instance, do you feel like working after lunch?
No, sir.
See, it's the thing, you know, once you've eaten that food, you're weighed down. It's like you do, you know, for me, I can speak for myself. On my one meal a day, when I eat in the evening, when I eat, quite often, I'd like to get some sleep. I just, because your bloodstream becomes saturated with the food, and again, depending on the type of food that we're eating, because we need to be very careful about what we put into the body.
Yes, sir.
Because the body needs foods that are alive, foods that are light, foods that give energy as opposed to energy sapping foods. And many of the foods that we eat today, because we've been taught to eat by our enemy, by the slave master's children, most of the stuff that we put inside of us is not good for us.
Yes, sir.
And it weighs us down. It makes us heavy. It weighs on our minds. We can't think. But when you are fasting, I don't know, again, for you who are fasting, when I'm fasting, I hardly need any sleep. You know, I can go to bed. I don't really like to go to bed very late, but sometimes I do. But, you know, I can go to the bed at 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm still able to be up again in a couple of hours, 5 or 6, to do prayer and do what I need to do. Because that's the power and the beauty of fasting. It allows you to be able to flow and think, and it makes your mind sharp. There's a scripture that says, man shall not live by bread alone, but from every word or through every word that issues from the mouth of God. And there's something, beloved brothers and sisters, about spiritual food that's far more powerful than physical food.
Yes, sir.
And if we are struggling, last month on the 3-day fast, I failed. You know, we got to be honest, because again, sometimes we can go in front of the people and start talking like, oh, we're some perfect beings. Last month, I didn't, you know, my last meal was the Thursday, and I didn't eat on the Friday, and I can't quite remember what happened on the Saturday, but I know that something happened. And as a result of what happened on the Saturday, I said to my wife, baby, I've got to eat. And she looked at me, she gave me a bad look like, you weak thing. But I ate on the Saturday. And obviously I deliberately made sure that when I came here on the Sunday, I didn't mention it. Because I don't want to encourage. You have to be careful what you say. You know? But this month, this 3-day fast, you know, I'm really celebrating it.
Yes, sir.
And I'm feeling very, very good.